Hey, thanks for joining me for another episode of Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels podcast. I am your well-being girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, encouraging you and helping you to embrace the power of giving your body permission to relax for better choices, health, and yes, wealth. We're doing it one deep breath at a time. All you need is an open heart and an open mind and a willingness to grow and to go. And of course, over this way, we're all about changing health narratives and leaving health legacies, talking about the fact that health is the wealth that we're born with. That's so exciting to me because we talk about all the other kinds of wealth that we need to know about, but health is the one wealth that you came here with. All right. So we want to make sure that we're taking the best care of that we can, getting enough sleep, accepting responsibility for our well-being. Yeah. Taking as many deep breaths as we need, tuning into our bodies and moving our bodies. So there we go. How you doing today, Matt?
Hey, what up, though? How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Man, we are just a few days into the new year. Of course, before we get into anything, how do we open each and every podcast?
With the deep breath.
So let's do it. Come on. In and out. Man, that truly makes a difference. And if you haven't tried it, I dare you to try it. I really do. All right. So January is Get a Balanced Life Month. So Matt, I love having you here as my producer because you represent the younger generation. Has anyone ever asked you, or have you ever thought about balancing your life? And maybe at your age you haven't, but that's a fair question.
Man, I really got to start. I noticed every single time I start talking, I always start it with but
That's okay.
To continue on, when it comes to a balanced life, especially working in the media field, it has its up and downs, especially with college. Sometimes it's, I have a whole bunch of homework to do and then work and then trying to make time with friends and family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of juggling things around and trying to make time for everything and, making sure I'm getting all my responsibilities done here at the office and making sure I'm getting all my homework done for school and then still being able to hang out with my friends because, in the personal relationships and stuff like that. So when it comes to a balanced life, especially being at a young age, I'd say it's kind of difficult.
Well, first of all, Matt, I'm so glad you had so much to say. So just like you, and you're of the younger generation, but several people that I talked to about this kind of had the same thing to say. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, when you talk about being balanced, and I've heard people talk about having a balanced life. I've heard people say you can have it all, but not all at the same time. And I don't know if that maybe leans more towards having it all as opposed to having a balanced life. But many people are interested in getting their lives into some sort of a balanced state, all right? Be it getting our work in order, like you said, Mac, or Matt, keeping track of the kids' birthdays and gifts, or even your day-to-day activities like your housework. Just all kinds of stuff. Getting a balanced life month, which is what January is actually here to act as a reminder that human beings are not machines that are meant just to work all the time, but there are times and places, of course, for everything. All right, so Get a Balanced Life serves once again as a reminder for us to reassess our personal and professional priorities after, of course, the busy holiday season, which we have just come out of. This promotes the idea of achieving a harmonious balance between work, health, faith, or family. I added faith. They didn't have that in there, but so they said work, health, family, and commitments and personal time. And I added faith because I can't do anything without my faith and trust in the Lord. All right. So they said this helps to prevent burnout and enhance overall satisfaction in life. So now this whole concept of work-life balance, which is what a lot of people call it, it's got its roots in the labor reforms from the late 19th century. This is where activists pushed for shorter work days, sounds good to me, and better working conditions. They were really working by the sweat of their brow back then. The establishment of the 5-day work week laid the groundwork. So this is this has not always been in place, this whole 5-day work week thing. It laid the groundwork for modern discussions about maintaining a clear separation between professional duties and personal time. And, I think that has really kind of I mean, it just really intersects and really kind of comes and collides together so much more than it used to. January, of course, has been designated as a time for reflection and balance as the whole self-care movement has gained traction and has done so. In the late 20th century, we still are seeing so much of that. So, there's a lot to be said about this whole balanced life thing, and we are dedicating all of January to trying to, I guess, continue to figure this thing out. So, with that being said, there are some tips that they have for achieving a balanced life, assessing your life. Yeah, so a lot of this is just, I would say, ongoing work. And before I get into that, when I think about a balanced life, I mean, like yesterday, had a conversation with one of my friends about this, and she was asking me some questions. So, I really think it is priorities. I think sometimes you have to make certain things more of a priority at certain times of your life than others. She has children. I have a 14-year-old, and I do think that children, because, I mean, he's not going to be 14 forever. Her children are not going to be teenagers. You're going to have a few years and then they will be adults. And so I do think that, at certain times and seasons of your life, you've got to make more things or certain things more of a priority. And so it may not look like a 25%, 25%, 25%, 25% balanced thing, but it can be balanced for you. So some of the tips that they share is to assess your life. Once again, take an honest look at your current lifestyle, which is what we just said. Identify areas that need improvement. This could include and involve evaluating how you spend your time and where you might be neglecting self-care. Because we know if you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of anyone else or anything else. 2 is to set boundaries, which we could probably do a whole podcast about that, and we just might do that. So setting boundaries is a way of definitely taking care of yourself, giving yourself permission to relax, because it can be very hectic and just, when you don't set boundaries. So establish those clear boundaries between work and personal life to prevent overlap that can lead to stress. And we are not about the stress over here, because stress kills. All right, we don't want no parts of that. All right, this includes setting specific work hours and making time for relaxation and hobbies. And what I just said about the stress, we know there's good stress and then there's bad stress. So we want to make sure that we are really keeping an eye on that. But yeah, relaxation, hobbies, that really promotes more of a relaxed feel, and for you to be able to deal with stress as it comes and deal with setting those boundaries. All right, so prioritizing self-care, making time for those activities that promote physical and mental well-being. We love that word around here, such as exercise, healthy eating, and sufficient sleep, which I am getting so much better at, and it definitely makes a difference. So practicing a good sleep hygiene. I love that. Love that phrase, sleep hygiene, and maintaining a balanced diet can significantly impact your overall health. All right. And then we've got some other ones here. Taking time to rest. Many people, once again, looking for a balanced life, tend to lean too far into work, not enough into rest and self-care, which we mentioned. One of the best things you can do for a balance and health is to get enough sleep, which we mentioned. That sleep hygiene, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You can check with a doctor too if you're having problems where your sleep is concerned. And I've got somebody that I really want to bring on to our next podcast that knows all about that. He's an expert in it. So looking forward to that episode. All right. Of course, eating a balanced meals, food we put into our bodies. I mean, we truly are what we eat. All right. And so the food that you eat is the fuel for your life. So keep that in mind the next time you put something in your mouth that maybe you shouldn't, that maybe it's not going to serve your body its best. Living a balanced life, when we think about that, we can consider what we put on our plates. Each meal can offer a balance of veggies, leafy greens, which I love, and protein, your lean cuts of meat, fish, eggs, etc., and maybe a few bites of chocolate. Now, I would err on the side of dark chocolate. My son said it doesn't taste good, but we know that's better for you than the milk chocolate. So I'm just saying, if you want that for a snack, it never hurt anybody. And of course, getting a balanced life month is all about moderation. Yeah, that is one of my words. Moderation is so important. Another one too is getting organized, which I am continuing to work on. I'm really good in certain areas of my life, but organization. An organized home can lead to a more balanced life and lifestyle. Keeping a calendar on your fridge to keep track of those important dates and times, not just trying to, it's good when you can remember, but if you have somewhere where you can look and actually see it, that's going to help even more. Organizing items on your shelf, either alphabetically or by what they are. I know some people that if they have a chaotic home, everything is out of order. They are just all out of order and chaotic. So when there's a place for everything and everything is in its place, life can feel a lot less out of control. And so we know that's what we're talking about over here. And so now, no matter where we look, we definitely see people struggling to keep their life in some sort of order and balance. And of course, like I said before, there's so much more going on now. So there's so much more to keep in order. And why is Getting a Balanced Life Month called such a thing? Well, seeing as how it starts near the beginning of a new year, this event is for those hoping for a new start, to get your life into some sort of order and balance, to relieve stress, the stresses of everyday life. We've all been there in one way or another, trying to balance something out to make it work. So we have room for our personal life. And this month is the perfect time to get started with this whole getting things in balance, getting a balanced life. So there are so many things to break down here. And I am just looking forward to taking at least 3 or 4 of these and just doing a whole podcast on. You can let me know too if this is something you would like, and just share with me and us here, what are some of the things that you need to kind of get in order, and how does your balanced life look? Is it looking balanced, or is it looking like it needs some work? All right, so thank you so much for joining me for this episode as we celebrate Get a Balanced Life Month here in January. I tell you what, we've got to end this episode with, how do we do that, Matt?
With a deep breath.
Let's do it. Come on. In and out. Yes. All about getting our lives in order, balance, giving our bodies permission to relax first. So that's the first thing we got to do. So thanks so much for joining me for this episode. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Also check us out at Deep Breath and Taste Buds at blogspot.com. Leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. And I tell you what, I will see you on the next episode.